Ben Phillips from Mediacom, who's global head of mobile, he triggered this discussion and he believes that is the case. He said, if I have this title and I'm doing this within a year, I've failed because mobile is a behaviour. It's so ingrained across everything that if my training solution works, everyone should be mobile experts. Apart from being a shameless plug, that is his position.
Mobile is dead. That's what we're here to debate today. That mobile is dead. There's one, it's dead. That was yours, Pete. When we looked at the title, we thought, what are we actually saying here? Are we saying that mobile phones are dead? No, it's not Skynet. We're not saying that phones are being turned off. What we're saying is that, as per the topic here, we felt that the word mobile is a bit too short. We need to expand a little bit. So mobile advertising is dead. No, we need to think a bit beyond that. We need to think about what we're saying really is that siloed mobile advertising is dead. Mobile advertising, which is a ticker box solution, that's also dead. Mobile advertising, when we take a 30-second TVC and throw it into mobile, that's dead. Mobile advertising, when we have attribution that doesn't work or location doesn't work either, that's also dead. Dead, dead, dead. Let it be dead, let it stay dead. Amen. What we also want to say though is, let's not be afraid of the word dead. The word dead for us is a very final word, but for technology, it's the beginning of the next cycle. Back in the day, in X-Files, agents Mully and Sculder had a Nokia 3310 flip phone. That's dead. It was replaced by the ubiquitous BlackBerry that Oprah Winfrey called the Crackberry. That's dead. 10 years ago, we got the iPhone 3. That's dead. Dead, dead, dead. And after they die, they're replaced by things which are better. Ubiquitous. Everywhere. Pervasive. Everything we just saw by Richard's wonderful intro. So you're going to hear from this amazing team as we talk about the idea of what it should be. Not siloed, not ticker box, not poor execution, proper digital strategy. And just as the word programmatic should come out of our language, so should the word mobile. It should just be digital advertising. That's our intro. I'm going to recycle
Spot the drug dealer.
effectively later.
Spot the drug dealer with all the phones. Okay, I'd like to start by thanking the IAB for inviting us up here to talk today. It's a bit of fun. So knowing Tim as I do and anticipating that he's likely going to quote some philosophers or possibly the limiting factor of the speed of light or something like that, I said I'd dig up a little bit of research of my own. And this bit of research was done by the IAB in the UK, and it was done to gauge how mobile obsessed people there had become. So question one, show of hands if you would rather go 1 year without booze or give up your smartphone. So if you would go 1 year without booze, put your hand in the air rather than give up your smartphone. All right, so probably about 50% of people. If I asked on a Friday afternoon, not too many hands go up. In the UK it was around 50% of people, so we match up there. Second question, would you, and this was really serious, expensive research that they did, and it is real research, would you rather eat one bowl of dog food once or give up your smartphone for a year? So, interesting. Put your hand up if you would rather eat one bowl of dog food. Wow. Nearly 50%. I mean, I gotta be honest, I've always wondered what it tastes like. So 22% of people in the UK, that's over 1 in 5 people would rather do that. Actually, Australians appear to be hungrier. So look, that's all a bit of fun, but the point I'm trying to make is that mobile is everywhere. It's the one device we've ever had that can really enable marketers to actually reach the right person in the right moment with the right message. And we, on the team here, believe that requires a special place in the marketing mix. I'm just looking at a couple of the numbers. Mobile has grown from 6% to over half of all digital spend in just 6 years. It represents 20% of all media spend. There are 7.22 billion mobile devices in the world, as Tim just illustrated, and 7.19 billion people. So mobile is not dead, it's very much alive, and it's actually having the time of its life.
This kind of comes down to customer centricity. And I think it's either publishers or ad tech platforms or advertisers in this room, we all know that our consumers live on mobile. We're one of the highest, most penetrated markets in the world when it comes to smartphone adoption. So why is mobile still a thing separate than everything else? Why is it not ingrained at the heart of all of our businesses? Why is it this other kind of tacked on separate strategy? I think for us to be truly customer centric and to speak to our customers in a really relevant way, we have to hold mobile very close to the heart of our businesses. If around half of digital spend is mobile, but we know that 3/4 of time spent on digital devices is on mobile, it suggests to me that we're not quite there yet and we're not actually doing mobile justice yet. So I think having mobile separate, not necessarily having mobile at the core of our business, means we're not quite doing it justice yet either.
Look, I think if half the digital spend is going onto mobile, what we want to argue is why are the vast majority of those ads not being noticed by consumers? For us, that old way of just simply putting a banner up, it should be dead. What we need to do is create banners that get noticed, that captivate people, that don't annoy people.
Stop plugging Kargo.
Well, if I asked everybody, if I follow up your interactive route and asked everybody just to think for a moment, what's the last ad you remember seeing on your smart device? I ask this question a lot, and I get two answers. Firstly, it's a blank look, and people think, right, I don't remember. Yet half the digital ad spend is going on to mobile. What are we doing wrong? We're creating the wrong ads. We're creating invisible ads. So what we want to do is kill that off and create better looking ads and ads that don't disrupt or annoy users, so that we can combat this notion of ad blocking, because people are pushing back for a reason. They don't like intrusive ads, but the ads we are creating, cross-screen ads, standard banners, are not getting noticed. So yes, put the user experience first, but let's use that digital spend to create better looking ads.
Look, I don't think we should focus on just ads. I think it's about mobile strategy, which I think it's more alive than ever before. If I think of some of the best experiences I have had as a consumer, they all been through a mobile experience.
Look, I think we agree with the customer centricity part. What comes up for us is, the location panel discussion was a great example of the intricacies and the challenges that mobile face. And so in our view, we believe that there is still a dire need for specialists, particularly with the mobile advertising space, to get this right. To be touched on measurement, attribution, SDK implementation, all of the app development. We've got to get all of that right for the advertising to work. So we're saying mobile's alive. We need specialists and strategists there to push it forward. And maybe a moment in time where it does become digital. But right now, it's not there.
I mean, the point is, I agree with the sentiment that it will become digital, but it is not there, and that is not just down to engineers and data scientists. You also need specialists around planning and execution right now who know the difference between buying app inventory versus buying mobile web inventory versus buying desktop and all the rest. You need specialists to be able to differentiate, because right now, and they're here in the room, right now mobile is not, it has a lot of challenges that need to be overcome.
I think it's just about doing it better. And we do talk about data targeting and geo-targeting and all these things. That's all well and good. But there's some research that showed that even ads that are 100% viewable, they could be the most perfectly targeted ads in the world, but only 38% of users actually see them. We've trained ourselves as mobile users not to notice ads, that we're spending all our time focusing on data enrichment and targeting. What about creativity? And I think Ipsos says that 75% of an ad's ability to drive lasting memories is down to creativity. I think let's look at getting the basics right first so we can turn that half of digital ad spend into better performing campaigns so mobile really starts to stack up and deliver to its premise.
Mobile.
Mobile, absolutely.
Thank you.
So, interestingly, do you own a car, Pete?
A what?
A car, a vehicle?
Yes, I do.
When you take it for service, do you take it to all these different stations to get it serviced? Do you take it to a carburettor place just to get the carb done, and then a turbo place?
No.
Or do you take it to one person
one place,
that
you know
puts
why?
the customer at the journey
Because the car
and looks after the whole thing?
100 and something years.
All right, well, mobile's been around for 10 years and we still have specialists. I agree completely with Lottie that we need to have specialists that put consumers at the heart. Not I'm going to go drive it over and get my carby looked at today and then drive it over and get my turbo looked at tomorrow. Look at the whole thing, put the consumer at the heart of the journey and look at all parts of it.
We're also ingrained in mobile. Has it worked for us not having mobile at the heart of the business, having it in a separate team, having it as just a group of specialists? Why is it not part of everything that we're thinking about and doing as a business? Has it worked? Probably, maybe not.
Well, it's not working. It's not dead. So the state we want to get to is the state where you say we are, but we're not there. So, I mean, there are inefficiencies certainly, but they have to be overcome. And like I said earlier, we need specialists right now, here today. What we're arguing, or what you're arguing, is that mobile is dead. Not mobile will be dead, but mobile is not dead. And it should not be killed off because of those challenges and also the opportunities it requires. Separate place on a media plan in terms of planning and execution and so on.
I will just add that I feel you guys are focusing the argument on ads, and as I said before, I think this is about mobile strategy and thinking mobile first and thinking how we service better than utility. I think something that you mentioned that I thought it was quite interesting is roles and responsibilities. Even if your role particularly is not the engineer or the developer, I, as a head of brand, do have a responsibility to make sure that the products that have been developed, the acquisition that we're doing at our company, that it is delivering against that mobile expectation from customers. There is an expectation, and I will also argue that this is not the only thing we carry. It is the only thing that we carry that actually can track us, and we had a great debate about location, where we could clearly tell from the previous panel that there is a lot of work to do still on location, measurability, and so on. So therefore, mobile is not dead. We have to get better at working together in how we develop stronger strategy to better service. Will it get to another level? Absolutely, but we're not there yet, and we have a lot of issues to solve from measurability, brand safety, and many others, as well as how we better service customers.
I think that if we look at it, we shouldn't be afraid of saying it's dead. If you want to be able to stop saying the year of the mobile, then you need to vote that it's dead and then move on and just say it's the year of digital advertising. And then digital advertising is ubiquitous, it is everywhere, it is omni-channel, and it's pervasive. And it will be able to put the customer at the heart of the journey.
We've got specialist teams building a great app and building a mobile advertising experience for our consumers. So the consumer is at the heart. The ad experience is different, and there's specialists there, working on that, and it works. It works across, the whole sphere, from app development, consumer engagement, user experience, and the advertising experience. So, Peter, you were talking about it before, the creative piece, and having that aligned with the mobile experience. Doesn't that go to the notion of what we're saying, that mobile is alive, and we need, we need that specialism, whether it's in creative or publisher side or, brand. We need that focus.